I'd now like to move on to our second speaker, Maria Casado-Diaz. So Maria is a senior lecturer in the Department of Geography and Environmental Management at UWE. Currently, her teaching relates to different aspects of tourism geographies and research methods in human geography. Maria is going to explore student and staff perceptions of opportunities and challenges associated with Gen AI.
Thank you very much for allowing us to speak today in the forum. It's a pleasure, and it's been already very, very interesting to listen to the previous speakers, and I can see a lot of things coming up through our findings too. So today I am going to very quickly go through the preliminary findings of a project on AI that we have conducted at the University of the West of England, and my colleague Harry West has also been, we've been working together, but he's currently on his way to his holiday, so I'll be presenting the results. So the project aim were to explore the opportunities and the challenges associated with the use of Gen AI in teaching and assessment. We were particularly interested in finding out more about different staff and students' perceptions and use of Gen AI in learning and teaching, and to explore how text-based generative AI could be used effectively to support our students' learning and well-being. And very importantly, to develop a best practice guide of case studies applications for staff and students. We conducted a big survey last summer in 2024, 2 online surveys, one for UWE students and one for UWE staff. For staff, the surveys were mainly distributed through mailing lists and team sites. And we requested the support of the student union for rolling out the student survey. And our goal was really to try and capture the diversity of the students and the staff perceptions from across the different disciplines represented in an institution and different levels of study, etc. We were very pleased to get 348 student responses, and 157 colleagues contributed to the staff survey. Again, very quickly, a bit of an overview of where those student responses came from. As you can see in the graph, the top 4 disciplines represented were medicine, geography, earth and environmental sciences, architecture and built environment, engineering and technology. And most of the responses came from our 2nd and 3rd year undergraduates, with the majority of the students being 20 or 21 years of age. In terms of other characteristics, it's worth mentioning that 72% of the student sample reported English as the first language and were home students. And also, we haven't been able to deep dive into this data and start doing cross-analysis, but 28% of the students identify some form of additional support need or disability. So I will quickly go through the preliminary findings from the student survey, and then I'll also quickly go through some of the top findings from the staff survey. So starting with the students, and again, worth reminding colleagues that we conducted this survey last summer, so the summer of 2024, when we're still in the middle of this. So at the time, 40% of the students reported that they have used AI very frequently or frequently. Most of the instances of AI use was in relation to support the learning and assessment preparation, mostly around study processes and thinking and comprehension, helping them to understand key concepts, some of the things that our previous speakers have mentioned too, or create initial plans for work, and completing different tasks regarding the different assessments, mostly around text spelling and grammar, and as I mentioned, those first draft of work. We found that typically students were using AI in relation to the more sort of, what's the word? All sort of type of assessment type like essays and exams. When asked about the main motivation for using AI, the majority make reference to this perception of using AI will get them a higher grade, or will increase their productivity and time management. And many also just simply mentioned that it was very easy to use, so it was easy for them to incorporate it in some of those preparations. A couple of things that were quite interesting from some of the survey results were this sort of tension between the perception of usefulness of AI and this dimension of authenticity of the work. So despite the fact that many students appreciated the benefits of using AI, they also expressed quite strong views in terms of ethical boundaries. We have included in here a few quotes. So most of the students oppose direct copying or full reliance on AI without critical engagement. And students generally rejected AI as a full substitute for their work. So some of the students noted that complete copy and paste from ChatGPT and calling it your own work is unacceptable. Or if you paste what it gives you, you are not really learning. And the other thing that came quite strongly from the student survey results and also from the staff results was this desire for clear institutional guidance and transparency. And it was around these two particular dimensions, what is and isn't permitted when using AI. So many students were not very clear about what was an acceptable use of AI, and require clear university policies and support on use. Again, a couple of the quotes, one student noted there needs to be clear communication about what we can or can't do. And another one mentioned, I'm scared to use it because I don't know what's allowed. And the other dimension was how to use it. How do I use AI? So not all the students, again, this was a year ago, not all the students are confident on using it. Some noted that they didn't tend to use it because of fear, lack of skill, or uncertain boundaries of what was acceptable use. So again, linking back to some of the previous conversations today, is this need for AI literacy. So there's clear need for training and inclusion strategies to ensure that all the students can engage with AI equitably and responsibly. The other thing that I thought we thought was quite interesting was student views on the use of AI for assessment and feedback. And the survey results show that 83% of the students will not be satisfied with AI-generated feedback on their work. And they didn't trust AI to fully understand their work in context. So a few quotes in here again. One of them noted, I would prefer a professional, had thoroughly review it, referring to a lecturer or tutor. I value human reasoning, understanding, and encouragement. And AI should not be marking work that can be used to give extra pointers. Moving quickly onto the onto the staff survey results. So there are a few slides now about the staff perception and the use of AI. What we found was that there was a widespread agreement among the UB staff on the potential of Gen AI for learning, particularly around improving productivity, but also in terms of the potential in AI offering personalized support to students. But despite this interest and in the recognition of the potential applications of AI in learning and teaching, there was a very limited actual integration of Gen AI into their pedagogies. Where there was an integration, it was sometimes more in mitigation. So some attempts to limit AI use in certain tasks rather than integrating AI. For example, we saw a shift back to on-campus exams after the reliance on online exams after COVID-19. Some staff have been replacing more traditional forms of assessment, like essay with alternative assessment. Some colleagues mentioned database portfolios or reports, introducing vivas, oral examinations, although there were some also instances where staff were teaching within modules the use and limitations of AI. Many of the staff also raised concerns about using AI and also noted particular barriers to AI adoption and integration. Again, going back to AI literacy, many staff avoid AI tools due to ethical concerns, lack of confidence in using it, or a perceived threat to academic integrity and standards. And many reported concerns that Gen AI could degrade core academic skills, particularly around critical writing, thinking, and research. Some of the staff quotes we have included in here: AI can write, but it discourages the students from doing so. If students don't formulate arguments, they don't learn critical thinking, and worries undermining academic development. Some of the other concerns that were raised were more to do with the lack of understanding or the lack of AI literacy on how to integrate this into the practices. And only 29% of staff reported being confident in their own ability to use AI. And there was a very strong desire for clearer policies and institutional guidance, access to training and CPD, and examples of good practice. And just to mention that 66% of staff would attend AI-focused CPD to increase that literacy. A couple of the courses are welcome workshops on how to use AI safely and effectively, and we need examples of appropriate integration of Gen AI in teaching and assessment. Just as a very quick summary, yes, in terms of the student survey results, the students noted they're frequently using AI to support their learning, and mainly around initial planning for assessment and understanding better some key concepts. And there was an awareness of the ethical use of the AI in their work. Staff also noted an awareness of an understanding of the capabilities, the potential benefits and challenges of AI use, but there's limited integration into their practices. And both the staff and the students reported the need for additional institutional guidance and AI literacy with training on how to use it ethically and effectively. And I think that's my 12 minutes.